Yeah, let's make this. It's 20th of October, circa, and I watched R.L. Stine's Pumpkinhead. This is the whole title, not, R.L. Stine is just put there because of name recognition. No, this is the full title. It is a Tubi original, and, well, Tubi made Slave, which was a very good movie, very funny, very horror, and also everything you want from a movie. So we should watch out for Tubi because it is free. It lets you watch their stuff even with extra steps if you are outside the region. But as I Pumpkinhead, see, after watching this, I checked up the original stuff, writing. I thought it would be a novel, so I was, at that time, it's Goosebumps now. There is a Goosebumps story which has some pumpkin-headed alien coming down on Halloween and eating humans. Great. I mean, they take in that story some kids and behead them and make them into aliens or something like that. Whatever, that was obviously a bit different. So I was, who made the creative decision here? But it turned out it is a scripturally adaptation of a script of the Haunted Hour from R.L. Stine also. That was like Goosebumps, but the guy did at least 3 of these child horror series, so yeah. Now, in this story, for the original, episodic series, anthology series, whatever you want to call it, kids go there, steal a pumpkin from a local farmer, and for that, the local farmer turns them into pumpkins because obviously, what did you expect from R.L. Stine? He makes incoherent, random horror stuff, so it's not very inspiring. Here, someone wrote the story to a professional level, let's call it that. A family moves to a rural town, which is famous that they always get ripe harvest and all that. They obviously had a bad divorce, and so yeah. The mother and 2 sons of her arrive, and one of them just wants to kick some puppies because he's upset because he had to move from obviously not eligible to raise a kid father. Don't worry about it. Despite all the warnings, this kid goes and steals a pumpkin. Is this movie entirely original? No. If you are an adult who watches a lot of horror, you probably guess where this is going, so you will instantly know that, yeah, that farmer is not into good things. And he isn't. He's doing all that folk horror stuff, Now, is that a problem? Absolutely not. I don't know, maybe I was just, watching the lowest quality, no paid, whatever resolution, and my monitor is not even 1K capable, I think. Anyway, I saw shadows, I saw lightning, I saw old school filmmaking stuff. This wasn't some overbrighted straight to DVD thing with push up the contrast, whatever. This was filmmaking, especially that this uses minimal, if at all, CGI, computer animations, effects. This uses physical props. And as there is a strawman who is hunting down people, it actually doesn't really seem like that. It seems to be a scarecrow, so trying to scare away people. One time you see the kid is cornered, definitely cornered. He's the dead end from 3 sides, and you see, because camera and point of view, there is the scarecrow, and the scarecrow, when the kid turns out, is not there. Why? Because the scarecrow went around to make a dramatic entrance from the roofs. It's hilarious. And yes, this is aiming for a 12 years audience, so there are some funny things, like they push the strawman into a fridge and lock it down. Sure, but when you see the pumpkin transformation, it's obviously the folk horror stuff. The farmer is turning humans into pumpkin, and that's the sacrifice for the pagan cult. Sure, that's real good. And they hired the contortionist, who can do this with his or her body. It's great, because you don't need anything more here. You just need a scary scarecrow, do that, walk around that way and upside down. Great. What else we need? Oh, what we need is the farmer looking very evil and very old and very grumpy. We have that. Great. The lead, the protagonist, the kid who is causing all the ruckus, everything happens because he stole a pumpkin, which is, both bad and good, turns out in the end, because, this is a pagan cult who sacrifices humans. He's serviceable here. He won't have a career after childhood, I'm pretty much guaranteeing it.
That's tonight. We have to do something.
Yeah, good luck with that.
But the female, she only did a short before this, but she's great. I expect her to do some more stuff in the future. Adeline Lowe, she's good. There was one meta joke.
Decades back, Red Haven went belly up. The soil was dead and crops failed and folks left town, you see. And those that did stick around, well, they barely scraped by.
Yeah, then Poland brought the farm back to life. Becca told me. Can we skip the origin story? What happened to Finn?
Hey, kid. You don't come to the forest tournament for straight answers. I got one job here. It's called world building. Shut up and let me monologue. Come on.
And that guy is just such a magnificent comic relief character, playing the drunk, half insane person living in the woods. And they use him to build up some jokes and build up the lore, how these kids will get some adult supervision, so to say. The guy's a coward, so it's more the kids are supervising him, but little things also count. And I don't know where they got the farmhouse. We see the interior for just a couple of minutes. In a hurry. Magnificent. That's a real house. Real old house. Or I don't know. So they did a really good work with this. The music and background noises are making a phenomenal job to make atmosphere. It's a fun Halloween movie, which anybody can watch. You know, kids as well as horror fan adults. Or, you just want a Halloween movie. And then I thought, well, I was watching in October plenty of movies actually. So let's see what I watched in October or something around. Don't remember much on Toxica, for example. I got it randomly on Tubi, I liked the poster. But then there was this The Kiss, which I watched because some Halloween challenge. It was mediocre from the 80s, that was the criteria, but I did not regret it, so yeah, I did not see it before. I watched Battle Royale despite my better judgment, because the challenge, I hated it. The book is genius, 10 out of 10, and deserves the adult rating. This movie is bad adaptation and bad movie. So, yeah. What I was surprised, there was this Dylan Dog Dead of Night. That's a horror comedy I never heard about. It was a straight to DVD shit, like there was this Frankenstein movie and Dracula movie and whatever those studios are doing, but this Dylan Dog is like Constantine Light. Not heavy on the lore, but it's more light-hearted fun. I say it's a very good watch for an easy afternoon or evening. Then there was the Jack in the Box. It had potential. It's a debug box which has a spring jack coming from it, but the curse is that it will kill 6% before it goes back into the box naturally, unless you do some special ritual, but why would you do that? It's a bit inconsistent on the lore, why, who can be target for this jack. Otherwise it was a nice low budget movie, so I don't complain much. Body Bags it's an anthology movie with John Carpenter. The John Carpenter, overarching, it's a zombie or whatever in the morgue telling new stories. The stories are bad, but this, the frame stories, frame scenes, there is not really a story. It's well made. Then I watched the short Fiend, where a woman is handcuffed in an apartment. It was watchable. Now there was an Indian movie. I don't know, we can call this Bollywood or whatever. Last time I checked, the Indians got annoyed because not everything is made in Bollywood. It's some regional stuff and goes into many whatever. It's a great action movie. Absolutely great. They are on a train, but it's not like that Steven Seagal crap or that Hungarian Europe Express. It was horrible. It's a ripoff of the Steven Seagal movie. What was the one where he played with Erika Eleniak? Of that, there was the second movie of Seagal. Yeah, that one. So this one is good. Like train is overrun by bandits and they are just robbing everyone blind. Then they find a family who is, one of them is, the father of them is someone important, and the fiancé of his daughter is a military guy, and he has his friend, and they slowly, there are like 30 or 60 people to pummel down. they start with, you know, try not to kill everyone because we are military and all that kind of jizz. And it ends up massacring most of them. My problem is the motivation that they start to kill people is not that they realize that they are at overwhelming odds. So 30 or whatever people is just too many. And when they try to not kill anyone anyway, and they are very heavily knocked out and they only escape with the help of other passengers, and some people die because of that, and that guy, they are, let's face it, half dead. That would be enough motivation. But for some incomprehensible reason, this movie decides to kill the woman he's in love with. That part lost me. So, yeah, that's unfortunate. This could have been a really big hit for India, but with that twist, not that much. Still a very good movie, you know, the John Wick level stuff. So. Or Nobody 2. Then there was The Quantum Devil. An international team of scientists are summoned to a remote location in Eastern Europe in an effort to breach a quantum barrier and travel to another dimension. This is a sci-fi thing. Remind me. Oh, I remember now. This was where that weird guy is in it. They pretty much decipher how the machine works. They are coding, and they don't know it, but they arrive into what Magic the Gathering calls it AD&D, the astral realm, where your imagination becomes reality, that kind of stuff. And it's like Event Horizon spheres coming to haunt you and, you know, cause your death and all that kind of. It's not big budget, so I agree with that, but everyone did their job the finest. The CGI is absolutely acceptable. I don't say it's a AAA budget, no, of course not, but it's what else you want? There is a twist, very unexpected in the ending, but it works on the logic the movie built up. So you can't be mad about that. I won't tell you because maybe you want to watch this and I don't want to spoil everything, but this had some tits and ass, male, female, both, so yeah. Then there was Book of the Dead. In this one, like half a dozen students, I don't know what they are, middle schooler or university students, whatever. Their mission is just to spend 48 hours at location in something of a house, because they don't explain it. They don't actually have to, but they obviously and they are explicitly told by the owner that do not go into the attic. Don't touch anything in the attic, and definitely don't read the Necronomicon. Of course, what they do is go into the attic, touch everything, and read the Necronomicon, which summons one demon. Still, I expected more demons, but that aside, it worked fine. It's a slow it takes a while until it starts to work, start to get into the real stuff, but that's part of the experience. They are just sent there to spend 48 hours doing whatever. There was no task, there was no job to do. They just spent time there. And then it's pretty cool. They try to defend themselves because they can't, very soon, right? They can't run. And they still have to spend the 48 hours there anyway, else they will fail their grade or whatever. I know that's a lame excuse, but it's fun. It's a fun movie. I watched the new Toxic Avenger and it's bad. The original character who had nothing, and they took away even that. So when he became that malformed monster, you understood why it started to do the revenge thing. Here, the lesson is, dude, you have everything. Sure, you transform into this hideous monster, but who the fuck cares? You have money, you have family, you have kids, you don't even have mortgage. What do you want? Get to your senses, dude. And of course there is Painter included in it, who we nowadays hate. So why was he included? Because Troma won't say no to such a name. So yeah. The Occupant, it is a survival story. It was actually pretty good. I hated the ending though. It turns into one of those modern endings, and I illustrate more with the Banished, which is in similar tones. So there is like one character, the wilderness, and some spooky stuff happens or not happens. For the Banished, the editing is made the movie a non-linear storytelling. So you see the past, you see the present, you see getting closer, the past to the present, catching up. So you can, and it helps because, just some person walking in the woods wouldn't be that interesting. So the editing helps. If you can't sit through like 2001 Space Odyssey, you will hate this. Absolutely hate this. But if you just sit down and let yourself relax and show me what you can do, movie, show me, then this is a great watch. Seriously. There is like two half characters aside the protagonist, and it works. Sure, some elements are underexplained, like what that cult is in the middle of the forest. It's not a spoiler because they only show up at the end, but they are in the trailer. So it gets a little bit of Lord of the Flies vibe. But the movie doesn't need that. They are not the focus. The focus is that this woman is looking for her brother in the middle of the woods because the guy is probably entered into some cult from no one returns. So that's a bit of a worry. And then she gets the guy she hired is just goes away, and she gets lost, and eventually she gets injured, and maybe someone is watching from the forest, and all that kind of stuff. So there is a tension, there is a story to tell. I don't like the ending because it's this modern elevated horror, the ending that this getting lost and breaking your leg, and killing your own brother by accident, but or not accident, or whatever, is the allegory of your grief and trauma, and that you have to learn to get a step, move forward, move away from this trauma and get on with your life. It's so on the nose and so overchewed cliche, this modern elevated stuff. It's not clever. And I spotted it from a mile. It was very obvious when it came. But even that couldn't ruin this movie for me. Sure, I deducted 1 point from 8 out of 10 because of it, because it has to be accounted for, but I had a great time, and I actually watched it. I just ran some game in the foreground, and it's just, watched it from the side of from the corner of my eye. No, it really resonated with me. I just said, okay, we are watching this, even though I watched it in 3 parts. Seriously, in half-hour doses. I stood up, went buying food in the supermarket. It's but with these slow movies, sometimes, just do it with your own pace.